This is Ageplay Confidential, a show that talks about anything and everything Ageplay related. I am your host, Super B, and welcome to another installment of the show. Thank you very much for joining me yet again so that we could talk about all the Ageplay stuff that we can dream about. And today I wanted to talk about something that I do on this channel that is not the podcast, and that would be roleplay audios. And I wanted to talk about that because that's something that I know most people want to hear more than this podcast. Am I right? You really want the Ageplay audios, and I do appreciate that. And I still have to finish the multi-part Zoo Day with Daddy. I think we are on part 4 now that I have to record. This is going to be a 5-parter, I believe. And when we last left you, by the way, we were en route to the zoo. And I tried my best to put out a good audio. Sound effects are key. Right? Without the sound effects, it kind of takes away a little something. And I try to go above and beyond when I do these audios. That's why it takes a while for them to come out. I'll be honest with you, because some of these, in the early ones when I was like really gung-ho and ready to go, I'm like, all right, we're going to plan this out. And it was bullet points. It wasn't like a script or anything. It was bullet points. I'm like, okay, I want to change this girl during a house party that I'm having, right? Or that was one of the ideas that I had. Probably one of my best works, I'd like to say. Thank you very much. But I was like, this needs to have these sound authentic so that whoever's listening to it, that it takes them to whatever space that it takes them to, right? And so that's my goal. And I kind of use fantasies that I would enjoy if it was done to me, right? Because I think as a little, it doesn't matter whether you're a boy or a girl or how you identify. I think the feeling is the same. And the kinky little dirty fantasies that we have is also this very similar or the same. If we, right, and I've spoken to plenty of age players of all genders, and we've expressed our little fantasies, and they're pretty much on point and the same. And it's scary how some of them align with some other kinksters. And that's a good thing, though. But you know, those fantasies, I gotta find a way to turn them into audio gold. And that's what I want to do. I want to be the best Ageplay DDLG audio role player out there. And it's a small niche community here. Us male ABDL, DDLG roleplay audio dudes. You know what? It would be cool if we all kind of got together and did like a collaboration where it was like, it's party day, it's the Super Bowl, and however many daddies show up, and then we each have our little baby, and we each contribute a little piece of audio to. Right? We each come up with a little story, right? And then whoever story it is, they post it on their account. No, but my next step, actually, to be honest with you, is I want to collaborate with a little baby girl, and we can do audios together, because I think maybe some interaction with an actual live person, instead of me like talking to somebody and then listening to nothing and then me responding to nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's somebody there, like if I said, "Sweetie, how's your diaper feel?" And then you just hear a little, a little moan or whatever. And I think it could be good. I think it would help actually also with the sounds, because somehow I would rig it so that if I were to be changing her, she would be on the changing table or the bed or the floor being changed, and that sound effect would make it into the audio somehow, right? So, there'd be a microphone on the crotch area where the diaper's being handled, and the plastic and the crinkles and the sounds and all that stuff. And then maybe there's another microphone by the head of whoever the other person is. And work it like that. So I'm always kind of brainstorming, and I think that's the next step. But again, I need somebody to collaborate with, somebody that has a nice voice as well. You want this to sound good, professional, and whether or not I am a professional or whoever it is, it doesn't matter. But at the end, it's quality of the product, and I want the product to shine. So this next daddy audio role play part has got to be good. I'm gonna brainstorm tonight, actually, after this podcast here. But I would love to hear some of your guys' fantasies and ideas, because then maybe I can take some of them and convert them into some sort of audio role play version. There's a couple that I got recently that let me pull up my YouTube channel. By the way, I'm going to do a little plug here. YouTube channel is Ageplay Confident. You're listening to it, for fuck's sakes. What am I? You're on it right now. Just scroll. and that. But if you don't know, no, you're on YouTube. This is actually, what I was thinking about putting my shows on Spotify. I think that'll be a good idea too. And then switch up the entry music, because apparently now this that you hear at the beginning, it was free to use a couple years ago, but then when I started posting again recently, it says like you can't monetize this because of whatever. I'm like, I don't know how far I am from monetizing anything on YouTube, to be honest with you. That's why I'm trying to build the audios and actually have it be more, consistent, because that really hits the followers. I got like, the follower count kind of slowed down, but when I started posting again, it's going up pretty nicely. So I have to look at the analytics or whatever. I don't even know if I qualify yet for monetization, but I also have to be very careful, with what I can put and what I can't. Actually, there is an audio that got taken down twice already. It was called, it was, I don't know what it was, but there was nothing. They flagged it for sexual something, sexual. You can't be suggestive, and I'm like, okay. And then they had a timeline, and it was like 16 minutes, and I'm like, all right, let me hear this part. And it was me reading, there was no lady that swallowed a fly. You know what I'm saying? You remember that? There was no lady swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. And then I'm like, well, this isn't sexual. Am I not allowed to read this book? Is that what that is? So I don't know what I want. This was good audio. It had 51K views before it was taken down last year when I was in the middle of my freaking health scare. So I really wasn't paying attention, right? And then looking at my YouTube analytics, I'm like, oh, what's this? What is that? Ghostbusters cross red thing, cross out circle thing. and then it was removed. I'm like, all right, let me just repost it. I thought it was maybe the cover photo of me changing somebody, cartoon, made it to look like a cartoon. Those are all legit pictures of me babying somebody, by the way. And then I just take this app and I make it look like a cartoon and put a stupid little caption on it. Anyway, so that it was taken down, this audio, and so I'm like, all right, well, I might have to edit it again. I don't know what it is. I have to listen to it again. I usually don't listen to my work. I'll listen to it once to make sure I got everything during editing. But after that, I don't listen to it. So now I got to listen to it again. It's 19 minutes long. And like, I know you guys love it, but I'm like, I got to listen to my fucking audios again. So I should be more like, hey, it's my audios. But um, as long as you guys like it, that's fine. Okay. But this one I liked. And, I was upset that they removed it. So I'm going to try to maybe redo it. It was a good one too. It was sound effects and everything. But I have to see. Maybe I could chop it up. Maybe I could chop it up and do it that way. We'll see. But fantasies, I would love to hear yours. Okay, so if you want to, email me at ageplayconfidential@gmail.com and write up your little fantasies or anything like that, or what do you want to hear on audio. And I've heard some mommy audios because you know that's what would appeal to me. Uh, Mommy Low official or Daddy I Want This had some audios that are really good and really well done and probably one of the tops in that genre. Um, I don't know if she's done them recently, but they're always good to listen to if you want to get into that spirit. For me, audios aren't super triggering unless it's directed at me directly. You know what I'm saying? Like me putting on a random person's thing, it might work. Pair it up with a video, like a point of view that actually I see a visual, then that makes it even better. But if it's said to me personally, like a whisper in the ear, like, you're my baby boy, like, whatever. Like, that gets me right there. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. So that's why I want to get a woman with a nice voice so that maybe we could be like a mommy daddy duo thing, which I don't think I've ever heard in the age play audio genre of either male or female. And so I would love to collaborate with somebody who has a great voice and great ideas, and then we can record something together. I think that would be great, you know, um, because now you're getting the best of both worlds. Maybe you have a fantasy where you're being taken care of by mommy and daddy. Now, I'm not good enough to do a female woman's voice. Excuse me. Heavens to Betsy. Look at this diaper. It's just so full. No, I can't. I am the man of the house. I am the father here, son. Sit down and let's talk about the birds and the bees, okay? Oh, Ward, don't talk to him. You're embarrassing him. Gee whiz, ma. Now, see. Son, sit down and talk. You're too old to be crinkling and walking around in a diaper. For God's sakes, you're in high school. Act like it. But Dad. But Mom puts me. Anyway, that's a fantasy right there. Hey, 1950s audio role play. What the hell would that sound like? Like, what would the 1950s DDLG audio sound like? You need that. You need that, like, Leave It to Beaver kind of music playing in the background, right? And then, you know how they talked back then in the 50s? Hold on a second. There has to be something you can look up on YouTube. How people talked in the 50s. I'm looking that up right now. Legit. Why do people in old movies talk weird? Let's see. Let's see.
Listen, I made a great reporter out of you, Hildy, but you won't be half as good on any other paper, and you know it. We're a team, that's what we are. You need me, and I need you, and the paper needs both of us.
Sold American.
Oh, all right, got it.
Listen, Walter, please.
If you've ever heard...
Listen, Walter, please. Right? Like, the people from back then, that's why I say, like, if diaper said it now, but back then they would emphasize the diaper, a diaper. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, different words would be emphasized, and they'd be talking like this, talking like a fast 1950s person. That's more like 1930s, 1940s. Gangster, see? You don't gotta say see. Yeah. I'm a gangster. Muggsy. They call me Muggsy. Operation Muggsy. But that'd be funny though. DDLG 1950 style audio role play. The names would have to reflect the age, the era. So Peggy, right? Peggy would be a definite, and then the name of a boy, or would be like Ralphie, like the Christmas story, Ralphie. And then the dad, of course, old guy, way older than the mom. You ever notice that in the Christmas story? That was a big age gap right there. Like, what's going on over there in that household, right? Because he was like grandpappy age, and she looked like she was in her late 30s, and he looked like he was in his late 60s. But that was the same dad from Billy Madison. Did you know that? The rich guy, Billy Madison, was the dad from A Christmas Story. So he must have been in his 50s in that thing. And he just looked, you know how old people back in the day, like 50-year-olds back then, looked like frickin' like, holy shit, Archie Bunker. And meanwhile, you got 50, nearly 60-year-old Brad Pitt looking like Brad Pitt. So, I mean, it is what it is. We's in the new times. I didn't know how this merged from talking about role play audios to talking about Brad Pitt. Now, let's talk about rumors. You want to talk about rumors? I heard rumors. I heard tell that Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie got into a little bit of that Ageplay stuff. That's what we're talking about now. Rumors. Hey, you know there's definitely celebrities out there that are into the diapers. Hey, it sucks that it gets such a bad rap. Doesn't it suck? Like, of all the age play of all the kinks, not age play, of all the kinks that are out there, ours, the ABDL, the age play, especially the diapers, are so low on the kink totem pole. It's unfortunate, because you could be talking to somebody that's kinky and you would think they're open-minded, they're kinky, but then they hear diapers, like, no way. And I get it. It's not for everybody. I get it. But damn, like, it's really misunderstood even in the kink community, I believe. Do you not feel that way, ladies and gentlemen? Do you not feel that way? I think so. Because if you said, "Oh, I got a foot fetish," well, so there's a whole bunch of people. Take a seat, take a number, whatever. It's like, I like being tied up. Well, I like to be tied up with my husband's my husband's tie. I'm like, come on now, where it's just the very basic of the basic 50 Shades of Grey type of kinky stuff. And the kind of stuff that you and I are into, ladies and gentlemen, is very taboo. It's so fucking out there. It is so out there. I love it, though. I do. I'm glad I do what I do. I like it. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good. And I saw her boobies and I like them too. No. But, yeah. Low man on the totem pole. Wah, wah. But you know what? It is getting a little bit more popular. I mean, it's a small blip, but there are some celebrities out there that, or female singers that kind of push that cutesy baby vibes envelope. And I don't know what their names are, but they're really cute. And I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing there. And you got to wonder how many celebs out there are actually into it. Why wouldn't they be? They're human, just like me. And there's so many people that you would least expect that are into it. And of course, in Hollywood, there has to be somebody. How hard that must be for somebody who is known in the industry and has this secret. Somebody's got to know. Somebody's got to know. Diddy might know it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there might be some. What if in Diddy's videos there are some diaper related actions? I think that is not. Is that far from the realm of possibility that there was age play going on in there? If everything else was going on in there? Yes, I believe so. That would be embarrassing if it came out. Because anything associated with diapers and adults, it's never, ever in a positive light. And that's why it's so hard for us to cope with wanting to be little or something and not being able to. Or you have a spouse that doesn't participate, or worse, doesn't even know. Yeesh. Your spouse has to know. You can't keep that a secret. It's imperative that you tell your partner. It doesn't matter what stage of your relationship you're in, whether you're about to get married or you've been married and you got kids, to keep that from your significant other. It's a biggie. And for you, it just builds up inside and it's hard. I've been there wanting to do something, but I couldn't do it. I had to hold it back and only do it when the coast was clear type of thing, I'm very happy now that I can do it more often and regularly. But the beauty of it is I don't do it all the time. I only do it when I really, really, really need it. So at the end of the day, if, my ex maybe thought about it a certain way, like I wasn't really going to be indulging in it that often, because a lot of times I'll be like, yeah, all right, I'm good with this. I don't need to, you know what I'm saying? Like, but hey, that's neither here nor there. That's in the past. I am going towards the future. The future looks bright, ladies and gentlemen. Right? So let's wrap this whole thing up, right? We talked about the fantasies and the role play audios. Then we talked about rumors, celebs. If you're a celeb, listen, I'll keep it between me and you, but let's be friends. You and me, we could work some magic. Look at this buttery voice here. Psych. Ain't no celebrities listening to this podcast. Let's be real. But if you were a celebrity and you are into the diaper thing, let me tell you something. You're my favorite actor. You know what I was thinking? Okay, speaking of like movies and stuff, right? We're portrayed. Let's talk about how we are portrayed in the media. And it's not really that good, right? It's not the best. Always, and I saw this podcast about it, and it talks about how diapers are represented in the media when it comes to adults. You're either sick, you're hurt, you're injured, or you're an invalid, or you're not right in the head, or, special need, whatever, right? So it's like never portrayed in a positive light. It's a source of embarrassment or whatever, right? So, and I believe that there's a way that that a character in a movie, like, something can be divulged to the audience that shows that they're into age play, right? Um, it could be as simple, and it doesn't even have to be a visual of it, but it could be a sound. You hear the sound of a diaper changing, right? Boom, you hear the tape opening up and everything like that, and you hear it being put on, and then you hear a kiss, kiss, right? And then pan over, and then who do you see? You don't see the diaper at all, but you see him, the upper body snuggled up at the breast of a woman, and he's sucking on the boob, but not overtly little, but like he's sleepy, and you just heard a diaper change, but then what was revealed was a man being snuggled up with his wife, and he doesn't even have to have a pacifier in her mouth. It could be just resting on her chest, but the idea has now been put in the audience's head, like, okay, well, that was a diaper, that he must be an adult baby. But then none of the over the top, crazy big bonnet wearing fucking shit that they do, to make us look, what I'm saying, like the crap that Hollywood puts in these fucking movies. They could do it in a way where it's like, it would be weird to the audience, but we're showing them also that he's just a normal fucking guy, and you just heard a little glimpse of maybe what he's into. And maybe it's not even touched on ever again, or maybe there's another scene where you see a little bit more, or you see a pacifier hanging around, like something like that, and that's it. I think it could be done well. It could be done well. That's all I'm saying. If there's a little thought put into it, like if a true age player out there is listening who's a writer and wants to incorporate that type of, like, you want to incorporate age play somehow, there's a way to do it and tell the audience without even showing the diaper. You just got to use your mind, your head. It sounds blurred something, You might hear a shika shika of a rattle. And then, yes, when you reveal who it was, it's a man and a woman in bed together. And you don't even have to see the diaper even. He could be under the covers and snuggled up. Boom. Done. I bet that could be, it could. Now, why divulge that information in a movie without it meaning something later on? I don't know. That I don't know. But I'm saying, like, it doesn't have to be over the top. With the big cloth diaper, with the big freaking huge ass bobby pin thing, like Baby Huey, and the big fucking bonnet that you get at the Halloween store every freaking year, right? All the fake baby wear, not the legit baby wear. That we know. But anyway, look at this. We hit 30 minutes. I'm going to abruptly end this Age Play show right here at the 30-minute mark. And yes, this was a hodgepodge show. Like, I don't know what to label this, but I'm going to try to timestamp it. And by the time you've already read this, heard this, then it is what it is. But thanks a God. Thanks a lot. Thanks a God. Thanks a Gaga. Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga. What if she was into Age Play? Lady Goo Goo Gaga. Anyway. Duh. So, thank you once again for joining me on my podcast. I swear the next time I'll have a topic to discuss. And sometimes I feel like we have to break it down and have a serious talk, a serious chat about stuff. And I don't know. Well, but I'm going to try to make it jovial and we're going to have fun. Okay? We're going to keep doing this. And now I got to think about concoct a story for this next installment of my daddy audios. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you very much for joining me here. Oh, I hear the music starting. I guess that's my cue when I'm listening back to start the music. And slowly bring the music up louder and louder. So now that I gotta talk louder so you can hear me over the music, because a lot of times you can't hear me. That's right. So thanks once again for joining me on this show. Please, if you have any suggestions, comments, questions, or if you need some advice from yours truly, write to email on your phone or on a computer, laptop, or on a desktop, or on a typewriter, or a BlackBerry. With BlackBerries, you were nothing if you didn't have BlackBerry. But now I got a what do I have? Oh gosh, see, I don't even know, because some people get really upset if I have the other phone than. Well, wait, only one group of people get upset and be like, "Oh, you got this phone," than the other group. You guys know who you're talking about. See, okay. So anyway, you guys, I love you all. Thanks for listening. Have a great west of your week. This is Elma Fudd. Talk to you later. Goodbye.